Today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be going over two things. One, why you need to use logistics companies, and two, what they can do for you in terms of saving fuel. Now, I just want to go and say the reason I'm doing this video is because I just got to have a multiplayer game where the Allies pretty much lost Africa entirely because they didn't have logistics companies. I'm serious. It is completely just because they had no logistics companies. They overstacked the area. It killed their supply off to the point where they had like 50 or 60% attrition, I believe it was. They were getting absolutely decimated. They weren't resupplying at all. I mean, it was horrible. So today, because I want to spread it out as much as possible, the reason you need to use logistics companies. So let's go and talk about it. Basically, if you did not know how to get logistics companies, you go to research slots available, go to support companies, and it's right here. Now you're probably wondering, okay, what does it do? If you open it up, you can tell it actually decreases your fuel usage by 5%, which is great, but also the supply usage negative 10%. Now, here's how big of a difference that would make. I want to use Japan as an example. As you can see in supply areas, in Asia, it's not that great, and Japan, for some reason, haven't used logistics companies in a while either. So, in Asia, supply is pretty bad. It's like 24 on average. We'll just say 20 on average because of all these other zones, though. Well, it's probably 22, but for math's sake, we'll say 20. If we look at our division here, under supply use, it's 0.88. So, if we were just to sum this up to 1, which is it's probably very likely, especially if you add artillery, you add, divisions, you make them a 7-2 or something along those lines. Let's just do that really quick. This is probably what the majority of Japan's are going to be using. So by doing that, our supply use is up. It actually is over 1. By having a template that the majority of people use, it's over 1. That means this template that's a 7-2, you could only fit about 20 of these on the entire front to go to war with China. You could fit 20 of them before your supply would absolutely just kill your units, and you would start losing equipment daily, and the attrition will be horrible. It's really bad. So that's where logistics companies come in, because each level you get them, they increase the bonuses. So this one right here, fuel usage negative 5%, supply usage negative 10%. This one right here does the same thing. This one here does the same thing. This one here does the same thing. Now, this is why it's helpful for countries like Germany and the UK. Now, the fuel usage part here, if you get the final tech, that is a negative 20% fuel usage. That means your tanks, you will use 20% less fuel for all of your tanks. That also goes for like divisions that are like cavalry and tanks or whatever. If you're in a game with no space marines allowed and you want to kind of cheese it that way, you can do all kinds of things with it. And this fuel saving bonus is tremendous. Even just the first and second one with only that's huge. But the supply usage, if you get to the fourth one, that is a negative 40% supply usage. That means you could probably fit about, I would say, quite a few more divisions in China. But realistically, before the China war, you might be lucky if you can get a level 2 logistics company. But logistics companies are incredibly, and I do truly mean incredibly important in this game for those two reasons. It saves fuel, but mostly it saves the supply and lowers it in the regions. So if you guys are fighting in zones like Asia, Africa, islands in the Pacific, Australia, Dutch East Indies, some areas in British Raj, Iran, basically even Saudi Arabia, because they do not have high infrastructure or high ports. Just please, guys, if you're having issues with your supply, if you are having any kind of problems like that, don't start saying, oh man, the supply here is terrible. Do something about it. Don't keep complaining about it. Do something about it. Get logistics companies, because that will fix your problem almost 100% guaranteed without even having to upgrade the ports at all, or even in the infrastructure most of the time. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it helped you out. If you guys are new, don't forget to subscribe, because it helps my channel more than you can possibly imagine, since I'm almost at 50,000 subscribers by like 3,000 more. Guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Stay awesome.